I turned 45 this year, which for some reason people keep telling me isn't middle-aged. If it's not in the middle of something, I don't know what it is. If I make it to 90, good grief, I think that I'm in the middle of whatever. Anyway, so what I thought I would do is I would impart some of my wisdom onto the youth of the world. And here's the video in which I'm doing it.
Some things never change.
Hey, everybody, an old man's talking.
I've got 3 points, really. I think the first one I would say is when you're in your 20s, that's a great time. That's a great time to mess things up. And I don't mean that in a do anything without consequences way. I mean, if you have left school, college, university, etc., and you decide into your 20s that this isn't for me, this isn't working out, that's the best time to do it. Because once you get locked into a career, once you have a skill set or a set of qualifications or what have you, and you've been doing that for 5, 10, 15 years, it's a lot more difficult to change. So I did this. I left university. I studied to be a forensic biologist? ? That didn't work out at all. I became a plumber, kind of, and then later on I joined the military. I wasn't special forces or anything. I was in the military, but it was not like high tempo military. And then after that, I worked offshore, and they were 2 things I would never have seen myself doing when I left school. If you'd have asked me where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years time as a teenager, I wouldn't have picked them out of a fucking hat, to be honest. So that's my first bit of advice. When you're young, and when I say young, I mean in your 20s. If you're at school, study what you want to study. And if you make a career out of that, excellent, well done. Lots of people do. But if you feel funneled into a career, or you feel like you've left the educational system and things are not going your way, that's the best time. I'm not going to say it's the perfect time, but that's the best time to change your mind. Number 2 is, this is quite a common bit of advice, but you only have one body, and you have to look after it. Now, when you're a younger person, you could be tempted to think of it as a car that you can rev of max like horsepower all the time, and it doesn't really matter what happens after that. But you have to keep that thing until the finish line, folks. You have to look after what you have. Now, as you get older, things will and do start to break, and they might not be the things that you expected to. You might have an injury, an unexpected injury, or you'll have an illness, or something will go wrong, and it comes out the blue, and you have to just roll with the punches. But don't abuse the chassis, folks. That's the only one you're getting. So now, trust me, there are apparently, I don't know how many human beings currently live on Earth. I think it's around 8 billion, or near enough. None of them follow that advice. When you're young, That's what having a young body is for. You party and or you don't party. I don't know. Maybe you're not interested in partying, but you've only got one shell, so look after that. And it leads me to my third point, I suppose. And my third point is, if you make mistakes, learn from them and don't let them define you. If you do things, you say things, you treat people a certain way, you make decisions that later on you look back on, you think, why on earth was I thinking that? Learn from that. That doesn't mean you can get away with being an ass in your youth. But if you have the capacity to review your life and not just dwell on it or lament it, but to say, well, why was I angry? Why was I upset? Why was I unsatisfied? Use that, because that's a very important tool as you grow older. And you'd be surprised how many people don't ever bother to do this. They sort of go through their life saying, oh, that's how I am. I watched, this is a bit of a spoiler, I suppose. I watched the movie The Backrooms last night. And the main character says, that's how I'm wired. That's not how you're wired. You have the capacity to change. You have the capacity to be a better person. You have the capacity to improve. Maybe when you're a young kid, you had a falling out in the playground. Like someone stole your crayons or something. And you started a fight with them. That was a crime of your youth. Hopefully, you would have been in a system where you were told that was not correct. That's not how you resolve conflicts. Or it could be something like you were a bit of a gadabout in your youth. You committed crimes, or you were in love with someone and you didn't treat them with the full respect they deserved. Don't just accept that. Use it. Try and become a better person. Become a better person. Live your life as a series of lessons learned, because it's the only way you're ever going to improve. The history is full of characters who have come back round in their late years and said, yeah, I kind of squandered that. I kind of messed that up. So bear that in mind. So they're my top 3 things. Look after yourself. Use the past, but don't dwell in it. And I've forgotten what the last one was now. Probably wasn't important. Oh yeah, it was your youth is a time to make mistakes. In terms of life choices. Just don't think that the decisions you make... you come out of school, you're a kid, or even when you're in school and people are saying to you, adults are saying to you, what are you going to do? What career do you want? What do you want to pick? This is you for the rest of your life. It isn't. I'm not saying it's always going to be easy to change, but don't despair. You can be funneled down one road, and if Providence is with you, you'll find another one. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye.